Hey guys, Kelsey Smith here with Smith Ridge Micro Dairy. In this video, I want to dive into what is A2A2 and does it even make a difference? I first want to say that I am not a fan of having labels just to have a label. It is hard enough for consumers to navigate the grocery store when half of the labels only mean half of what they actually say. And it's hard for people to know how to make their grocery shopping decisions when these labels are so confusing and a little bit misleading too. So when it comes to A2A2 though, this is something that I've done a lot of research on, and I made decisions for our farm and the future of our farm and what we want that to look like based on the things that I learned and discovered. Before I dive into that though, I want to say that raw milk in general is easier to digest as well as is much more nourishing than pasteurized milk. The reason for this is that when milk is pasteurized, it breaks down a lot of the good enzymes and makes it harder for people to digest. They then add in these synthetic vitamins and minerals, but the reality is that raw milk is a superfood in and of itself. It's packed with vitamins and minerals, good bacteria, and it is nourishing as well as hydrating. So I think, why mess up a good thing? You might be surprised to learn that A2A2 is actually referring to the genetic makeup of the cow. Every cow has a chain of 229 amino acids, and on link 67, there is either a proline or a histidine. If the cow has a proline, then they have the A2A2 gene. If they have a histidine, they have an A1 gene. They can have different combinations such as A1A1, A2A2, and A1A2. The cow that you've seen in this video, the calf, is an A2A2 calf because the bull, the sire, was A2A2 and the mom, the cow, was A2A2. And so this trait is hereditary. Now, in all other species, goat milk is A2A2, which is part of the reason why it's so highly regarded for its quality. Sheep milk is A2A2. Breast milk from humans is also A2A2. So where did this A1 beta casein profile come from? Well, it's pretty simple. It's from human interference. So when I am producing or looking to provide food for the community and for our family, I want to make sure that it's in line with what God intended for us. Now, of course, there's no handbook for this, but my gut instinct says that if God provided us with A2A2 milk, and then originally before humans started breeding these cows, all cows were A2A2. And that's why I decided for our farm that it was better to pursue this because it was the most pure example, as well as a better and easier to digest type of milk. If the cow has a histidine on that link 67, the milk will release a beta casomorphin 7, which is essentially an enzyme that is associated with digestive discomfort. So sometimes those people that think that they are lactose intolerant are actually having an intolerance to the A1 beta casein profile, which is tougher to digest and creates that upset stomach feeling that people will get sometimes when drinking milk. Now, one of the common misconceptions about A2A2 is that there's not a specific breed. You'll hear people say that like, oh, it's a Jersey, it's probably A2A2. Oh, it's a Guernsey, it's probably A2A2. That's not the case. The only way to really know is to send off a sample to a lab. That could be a milk sample or a blood sample, depending on where you're getting it tested. But the only way to really know is to do a DNA test or an A2A2 test on the cows. Or on the cow itself, has really nothing to do with breeds. Alexander Farms in California has tested and been a part of testing thousands of different animals, and they have found no consistency of breeds where this trait is more prevalent. So the only way to know is to not assume and to make sure that you're testing the cows. Now, I'm not saying that raw milk or all raw milk has to be A2A2, but for us, it was just something that I wanted to pursue to provide the highest quality of milk for our family and for our customers.